Hey, today is a privilege for me. I'm really excited to have my next guest here. So I want to make this show. I asked a friend of mine the other day, I was like, do you think after Joe Rogan's done 1,600 episodes, do you think he has like a master's degree or a doctorate level's worth of information in his head from doing all those shows? And my buddy was like, man, several master's degrees. That's what I want this show to be. But I want it to be from different angles. So you guys know I've already had several models on. I have a physicist coming on. I have some doctors coming on to talk about everything, COVID, vaccines, all this kind of stuff. I want this to be intellectual curiosity. I want to look at all kinds of different ideas. I have two guests on here who started their own podcast. And one of the things that I found, especially, like I said, I've talked before about other girls that are influencers come on here before. And you get like a one-dimensional side to them, but they're not one-dimensional. There's so much more to them. There's so much more depth to it. So I have the co-host of Coffee and Cleavage on today. I have Lynnie Marie. What's going on, Lynnie?
Hey, thanks for having us.
Excited. I met Lynnie on many red carpets at many charity events. And Shantal, Monique, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Then the first time we met was yesterday. Really excited. I will tell you guys, they look like their photos. That's another thing I wanted to bring up. And we're excited to have them here because, again, this is one of these situations where I get a lot of questions from guys because I do so many of these events and I'm around so many influencers that, like, for instance, a guy may follow an influencer, see me on her page and then be like, hey, what's she like? And the answers or the questions they always ask are really reductive. They're very reductive. You might even say misogynistic, some of the things they say. And I'm like, man, this girl's got a master's degree. Or I had Jamie Villamore here the other day. She's got a master's degree. She's a professional shooter. I've got my friend, I don't know if you got Monica Masnovi's a practicing attorney. Like, there's a bunch of stuff like that a lot of these girls don't know that they're really smart and they do. You guys, I was listening to Shantal yesterday talk about OnlyFans, not OnlyFans, but also your engagement on Instagram in ways I didn't even know about, right? You guys have like I believe have a master's level knowledge when it comes to social media. First thing I want to ask you too is the origin of the podcast, Coffee and Cleavage. Where did you get that idea from? Where did that name come from? Where did this all come from?
Well, honestly, we can literally talk on the phone for hours, her and I. So one night we were talking on the phone and I don't know what we were even talking about, but we're like, fuck, this sounds like a podcast.
OnlyFans.
Yes.
We were talking about OnlyFans.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, so I mean, we just decided, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's do it. And then the name, I don't know, we love coffee and we fucking have tits, so Coffee and Cleavage.
Yeah, I mean, it was really organic. It was just like, we like talking. We were listening to ourselves talk, and we're like, fuck, this just sounds like a fucking podcast. Yeah. You know, and then it took us a little bit to do it. I think the pandemic definitely pushed us over the edge. We're like, we have nothing to lose right now. Let's just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what we were doing.
No, we had no idea. Like our fucking setup in the beginning was just, cords everywhere.
I loved it. It was great. I just full disclosure, I went through double speed. I went through their entire catalog. It's really, really funny. Yeah. So here's the thing. Does coffee? So I don't drink coffee specifically, but I'm a caffeine head, and I drink some before I do this podcast, and I get in an insanely manic, like talkative mood sometimes, especially when I don't drink coffee for a while or I don't drink any caffeine for a while. Was that also part of this? When you start drinking the caffeine, it made you guys extremely talkative?
It does, yeah. And there's times where even like when we're doing our podcast, where I don't know, the caffeine just gets you kind of jittery.
I think I definitely do it more than her.
Yeah,
she looks over at me and she's like, "Are you okay?" Like, how much coffee have you had like before this podcast and then during? Mm-hmm. It's bad. It definitely gives you the jitters, and sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm talking too fast. Like,
yeah.
Breathe.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I have the same issue, man. Like, I really shouldn't drink any caffeine before I come on here because I get really, really excited about certain topics. Mm-hmm. I heard you both on your podcast talk about the fact that you don't really use your social media accounts for personal reasons, right? They're professional. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What does that mean? So, like, for me, it's both, right? It's like, it's where I'm going to connect with my family or my friends from high school, but it's also where I'm going to promote stuff. But for you guys, it's more of a professional page.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I know for my page, I only use it for professional, just, for everything for brand purposes. And now, though, it's getting really hard to promote other things, like, let's be real. All of us do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But with Instagram fucking banning everyone for promoting shit,
Yeah.
it's getting a lot harder.
Even if you put it on a Linktree, do you get banned?
You can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they'll scrape your Linktree and try to find out. Wow, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You
I've had videos taken down where it goes to my personal website. So I don't use Linktree. I just use my website. And on my
Wow.
landing page, there's like a subscribe button, obviously. But if I put that in a story, my stories will get taken down within seconds. It just like auto
yeah.
deletes it.
You know, so here's the thing. I was going to wait till later to talk about this, but I want to talk about it now. This is it is crazy to me what has happened over the last couple years where it is so blatantly obvious that Instagram from 2012 to like 2018 was creating their platform off the backs of attractive women and then just shit on those same women as soon as they started they wanted to monetize the platform. As soon as the growth curve ended, like for instance, how hard would it be for a girl who's really pretty to start from 0 to go to 100K right now compared to how hard it was back in like 2014? It's insanely hard.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's insanely hard. So, could you guys talk a little bit about this, about how you guys were given carte blanche for a number of years to do what it is that you wanted to do, and then out of nowhere they're like, no, these things are inappropriate, and the rules were never clearly explained to you?
Yes, absolutely. So I actually have a little bit of a different start. I started an Instagram in 2012, but I didn't really understand what Instagram was for at the time. I was a college student. I was working 3 jobs. Social media wasn't that important to me. I just showed up to shoots. You know, it was kind of like a different era. Meanwhile, though, I made a Facebook and that like blew up because same thing as Instagram, like the algorithm just favored beautiful women. You know, you could easily grow hundreds of thousands of millions of followers from just posting and having really great engagement. And by the time I got into the Instagram game, which I think was maybe 2017 or 2018, so kind of late in the game, that was already changing. All of a sudden, my pictures were being deleted because it was sexually suggestive to wear a bikini, which is mind-blowing.
Well, I mean, I don't understand how that's not misogynistic. And specifically coming from Silicon Valley, the most woke place in the entire world, for them to do this, it's almost like women should be protected unless they look like this. Then they shouldn't be protected. I've had this issue before where I try to raise money for domestic abuse shelters on a couple occasions. And then I'll straight up ask them, I'm like, do you want me to bring Abigail Ratchford? Do you want me to invite Emily Sears? And they're like, no, we don't want those girls. And I'm like, what, do you think because they're attractive that their boyfriends would never hit them either? Like, it doesn't fucking make any sense to me. And one of the things that I find to be very hypocritical is this idea that like, you'll have someone who's a victim of domestic abuse and they during their victimization, they're told, well, this happened to you because you dressed a certain way. And the problem is that now I'm trying to raise money for you and you're still believing this bullshit. No, it's ridiculous. There's no reason a playmate can't raise money for domestic abuse. This idea that somehow Playboy objectifies women when women wanted to be in it, it boggles my mind, because what it tells me is that there are people out there that think that because you guys are attractive that you do not have the agency to choose whether or not you're able to exploit yourself. It's ridiculous. It's not exploitation if you choose to do it. And when I hear women that are like, I've always wanted to do this since I was 12. Well, how the fuck is that dream not just as rational or just as relevant as somebody else's dream to become an astronaut? To me, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. I mean, I could not fucking agree more.
Fucking amen to that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is just pretty fucking mind blowing. I mean, I can't even wrap my head around it, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. It's so, I don't know. I just lose words. It actually like makes me actually really angry,
right?
You know, just thinking about it. And especially on social media where it has just become more and more fine-tuned.
Yeah.
Like the rules just lay on rules that lay on
Mm-hmm.
rules that lay on
but
rules.
you don't really know, because apparently if you touch your boob with a coconut, that's fine. But if you touch your boob with your hand, you're violating terms of service.
Yeah. Exactly. And now you could see that some photos I see of girls wearing sheer tops, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I
you
mean?
can see their nipples.
Yeah, you could see. But if you have a hand bra, like that's not okay because you're touching yourself.
So it seems to me, so just to lay it out for some people out there. So some people may be like, well, you know, they're posting scantily clad photos on a public website and maybe children don't want to see it. While you may have a point, and there may be some websites that don't allow this, here's the problem. They did allow it for a long time, and we're fully aware that that's what was going on. And not only did they allow it, they encouraged it. Not only did they encourage it, they were fully aware that their growth curve, like for instance, Instagram went from an app to one of the biggest apps in the world, the biggest photo sharing app in the world, was bought by Facebook for $1 billion because of the fact that they were using attractive women who they were not compensating in whatsoever in order to grow their platform. And then once they got to a certain point and the growth curve stopped and they wanted to bring Ford and Mercedes-Benz in, then they wanted to take those same women and not just deify them. They are literally the number one enemy on the platform and do everything they can to suspend them. So again, you used their labor to build your platform, and now these are the people you are punishing the most. They had made a living on your platform. And then of course, here's the problem. The issue is, and this is the ultimate debate, and I'm curious what you guys think about this, the idea of Instagram and Facebook being private entities versus public utilities. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the whole situation with Ma Bell. There's Southwestern Bell and all these other Bell telephones. They were broken up because of an antitrust case, and then they're now considered a public utility, meaning like I have to file for a warrant if I want to tap someone's phone or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is the Constitution protects you on your telephone. And the argument is, why is it that the First Amendment protections do not apply to Facebook and they do not apply to Instagram? They apply when it comes to hate speech, but not when anything else. Like, for instance, if I mass report your account, if I accuse you of a crime, like for instance, you robbed me or you stole some money from me via theft, you don't just go to jail. You can be charged with a crime, but then you get what's called due process. You get the right to face your accuser, the right to face your accuser, the right to face your accuser, Instagram. And then also you're allowed a chance to defend yourself, and then you're presumed innocent until proven guilty, right? That's what happens. On Instagram, it is the complete opposite. The accuser is fully 100% believed. And by the way, let's be frank here. I'd say 85 to 90% of all reporting on Instagram right now is people who just hate somebody.
Absolutely.
Hold on. If I don't know the terms of service, which I don't. If we had a rep from Instagram on here right now, they could not repeat the terms of service. If I don't know the terms of service, how the fuck are you going to say I violated terms of service? How are you going to report me? That doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to report me for violating terms of service, no, you're reporting me because I'm a girl and my boyfriend looked at Shantal's picture, so fuck Shantal, and so now I want to have her reported. That's what's going on, and you know this. And then when you falsely report me, have you guys ever been reported for animal cruelty or hate speech or anything like that?
No.
So I know a girl, deleted account for animal cruelty. Not one single animal on her account. Hate speech for pictures of her in a bikini. Hate speech. Account deleted. Not deactivated. Deleted because of hate speech. And dude, this is the problem. We're never going to have somebody from Instagram on the show. I know I don't have a big enough show. That'll never happen. But if I did, I would feed him his liver because there's no fucking way to defend some of the actions that they took. It's so hypocritical. So now we have two girls on here. And I'm trying to explain the thing is because I know a lot of people are like, boo-hoo, pretty girls lost their Instagram account. It's more than that. You were allowed a livelihood, and then it was taken away from you, and nobody explains why. And then you are not afforded your rights at all. Like, for instance, what we have written in the Constitution, we don't get those rights on Instagram. We're not protected underneath those rights. And then the other thing is, well, actually, let you two talk about that first, because then I have another point. What do you guys think about that? Sorry.
I mean, it is just really crazy how it works, and I understand the logic behind wanting it to be like a viewed private, not but I just don't think it's actually going to happen. I don't know if that's just a very negative belief to think that that's just not going to happen.
You think it wouldn't be turned into a public utility?
Yeah.
At some point, do you understand, if Instagram took over, like there was no Facebook, and it got to a point where it was like antitrust, it would be turned into a public utility.
But do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah. But the House and the Senate have already proposed stuff like this. What would happen? Basically, what would happen is Instagram would no longer be able to suspend your account. They'd be able to tell you, like, for instance, my account's suspended right now, and it's for identity theft. Apparently, by the way, my name is Michael Sartain, and I'm impersonating myself, so that's why my account's missing right now. But instead of saying, hey, these are the reasons why we think you're impersonating someone, please prove that you're yourself. If you don't by this date, then we're going to go ahead and suspend you. They just suspended me first, and that's going to take weeks for me to get my account back that's clearly mine. Once again, IG, it's me. It's really me. And you took my fucking account away for nothing. So in that situation, that's what I'm talking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for instance, you can take away way someone, because of their political views, they're all automatically taken off Twitter. So for instance, I'm not saying this is right or wrong because I think this is kind of fucked up to do this, but if you call someone who has changed genders, who was assigned a male gender at birth and then switched over to a female, if you call that person a male on Twitter, you are deplatformed. I don't know if you guys are aware of this.
Not aware of that
is something
all.
that is something that actually happens. And again, that has to do with the political beliefs of people that are on Twitter. But they, from their standpoint, you're bullying them, so the bullying's not allowed. But again, there's nothing in the Constitution about bullying. I'm not saying bullying's good. I'm just saying this is a function of like where you have free speech. But last time I checked, we've all lost our IG accounts. We were bullied by people who were reporting us for bullshit. That's all. That's the point I'm trying to make. What do you think about this, Lynnie?
I mean, it's true. I've had my account disabled one time, and it was, I don't know, I think I lost it for maybe a few weeks, but I've known girls that have lost their pages for months. And it's true, especially when you work your ass off to build your following, and then it becomes your source of income, you know, with different brands and just, I don't know, whatever it may be. It's really fucked up. It really is. It pisses me off too.
Yeah, I've actually had my account stolen before.
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother thing
Yeah.
where people are literally hacking into your account and stealing it, posting porn on your page.
Yeah.
That happened to me for like 2 weeks. I got fortunate enough to actually talk to a real person at Facebook that helped me get my account back. And that was just sheer luck.
I just don't understand. Like when you're reporting someone, it's almost always fake.
Yeah.
It's almost
Yeah.
almost always false reporting. Like literally, I guarantee you, it's more than 85% is just jealous people
Yes.
or puritanical individuals in countries that do not believe in women wearing bikinis. And they're just basically, I'm offended because you're attractive. And that's the second thing I wanted to get to. You are not offensive because you broke the rules. I'm just telling you guys this. I'm going to tell you guys this also. Anybody from Instagram watching this. They are not offensive because they broke your rules. They are offensive to you because they are attractive. Let's make this very clear. You can write whatever you want. That's the truth. You are not offensive because you broke the rules. You're offensive because you're attractive. Because when I want Ford to be a sponsor, Ford has to pay to get eyeballs, and Shantal does not. If I have Avion tequila, Avion has to pay to get eyeballs, and Lynnie does not have to pay to get eyeballs, and that threatens your corporate entity. That threatens your sponsor's ability to raise money. So, what do you guys think about this idea? So, I'm going to bring up a study that happened one time. They passed out photos to these college kids. It was a college survey they did. And in the college survey, it's a man and a woman. They're studying together. They're just studying. And the woman has a neutral face, and she's of average attractiveness. That was the intent of it. And they show this photo to a bunch of people, and they ask all the men. They're like, how many of you think that this woman is sexually attracted to this man? And then they ask the women, how many of you think that this woman is sexually attracted to the man? And the men, something like 68% of the men were like, she's attracted to him, which is ridiculous because she wasn't. The point of the photo is that she's just studying with him with a neutral expression on her face. But these men just assumed that she was attracted to him. They made her more attractive. Put makeup on. She had bigger boobs. She was showing cleavage. They asked the men again. By the way, it was like 68% of the men, 17% of the women. They made her more attractive. They asked the same question to a different group of college students. How many of you guys think that she's sexually attracted to this man? Something like 90% of the men were like, yeah, she's sexually attracted to him. She was not attracted to him because of her behavior. She was attracted to him because she was attractive. This is the reason why you have guys whistling at you for no fucking reason. And you guys get, by the way, if you want to talk about this, unsolicited certain types of pics that you get. The reason why is you are attractive, so they think that you're attracted to them. It's this weird illogical psychological thing. And now you guys are unattainable, which then offends them. This is where the offensiveness comes from. Do you guys understand? Maybe you never had to explain this way, but this is the reason why from a psychological standpoint, again, you understand, if I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa in the 1970s, I never see pictures of anyone who look like you and for sure never meet you, right? Never have access to you, DMing you, get the fuck out of here. That would never happen in a million years. And so now we're in a situation where these guys are you are offensive because you are attractive.
Fuck yes. Amen.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I feel like we could probably go on about this for fucking days, but just the fact that because somebody finds you attractive, that's an invitation to one, yell at you, whistle at you,
yes,
call you names. And then if you do not respond, you were immediately treated like shit.
Yes.
Oh, you're a fucking whore. Oh, you're a fucking bitch. It's like, it's mind blowing because you whistle at me and I don't turn around and say, oh, hey baby. All of a sudden that warrants me being mistreated.
Right.
Because I'm not immediately accepting your invitation.
What hurts them is the reaction that happens in them when seeing. We were at Sapphire Pool yesterday. Shout out to Sapphire Pool.
Yes,
right? What hurts them is that you guys would walk by, and there would be this innate, like, evolutionary gut male reaction that they'd have, and when you guys didn't validate it, it was just too much for them to handle, because let's be real, you guys, most men do not bump into women who look like you ever in their life. And so when they see this, they were like, holy shit. I mean, I saw the reactions of the dudes. It's crazy. I wasn't even looking at you guys. I was just looking at the reactions from these dudes. It was like they were falling over themselves. And so when I see something like this, and then I realize they can't take responsibility for their own desires or their own, and so because they can't take responsibility for it, they're now offended. You offend me because you did not validate what I wanted. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense, Lynnie?
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
Well, when you brought up Sapphire Pool yesterday, I just thought, perfect example, the guy that fucking grabbed your ass, literally, I know, I saw the look on your face. I was like, oh, fuck. He did not just do that. Like, that was just not okay. You know what I mean?
I didn't see that, but that's crazy. You told me about that afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, to just take a photo with you and then just, oh my God.
Well, he actually wasn't taking a photo. So like a group of guys were standing outside of the area that we were hosting, and they lined up and they're like, can we take a picture? And of course, say yes. I take a picture with, like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 guys. And during one of, like, the last pictures, I'm taking a picture with 2 guys. And so my hands are up, you know, kind of around their sides. And a guy comes up from behind me and literally grabs me with both hands by the ass, like a full squeeze, and then walks away and, like, does it to another woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. It's the combination of alcohol, and then you get into this environment where you think that's
okay,
acceptable, right? But by the way, shout out to Sapphire Pool. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome there. It's nobody's fault there that guys act like this. I've used to manage a strip club for 4 years. Knuckleheads are knuckleheads. They come everywhere. But the idea that this type of behavior then happens, the problem that I'm having is there are men who are out there judging you guys because they're like, why aren't you living a traditional role as a woman, right? The fact is, because you guys probably make more money than 99% of the people who follow you. I'm just gonna be real, and that is not a traditional role. There's no submissiveness, right, in that type of role. And then what happens is I see men who are very judgmental. First off, I've heard men use this example. They're like, "Oh, well, you see the birth rate is dropping. Good. There's 8 billion people on this planet. We don't need any." There's to let you guys know, there's 400,000 elephants on the planet Earth right now, and there are 8 billion Homo sapiens. We won. We're good. Like, almost all the land mammals on this planet are chickens, pigs, and fucking horses. We killed off every 90% of the large land mammal biomass on this planet is domesticated cows and chickens and pigs and all that shit. And we've done that. And as human beings, I think there's plenty of us. So I don't really care about the birth rate going down. I think that's fine. And I also think that there's a lot of dudes that have a problem when they hear about women making $300K a month on OnlyFans. One of the things that's happened to me in the last couple months is at least once a week, I get hit up by somebody trying to get me to get in contact with you guys. Not you two specifically, but it's usually like Kindly or Lindsay or something like that. And they're like, hey, can you get them to come over to our new platform? Or we want to manage their OnlyFans. And I'm like, what? Again, it's one of these situations where, like, you couldn't deal with the fact they were making money. So now let's have you step in and figure out how you can be a part of the process. Have you guys experienced this?
Oh, God. There's so many of those now.
Everybody wants to stick their fucking hand in the cookie jar.
Everyone wants a fucking piece of that pie.
They do.
It's true. Mm-hmm.
They do. As soon as they find out that you're making money, first it's like, well, what the fuck? How are you making this money?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's fucking stupid. That's not a real job. I mean, how many times have we fucking heard that? I mean,
Yeah.
you heard that before OnlyFans existed.
Yeah.
You know, people would be like, oh, you're a model?
Oh, yeah. I've had people ask me, like, so what do you really do? Like, fucking excuse me? Like, what do you mean? What do I really do?
I always respond, I sell crack in Riverside.
I love that.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
I sell meth up in fucking, what's it, Reading. I go to Reading and sell meth. No, I'm just saying, like, just going back to what you're saying before, the stigmas that happen. But here's the other thing. Like, again, I have never seen anything happen because what happened was IG was sort of this sort of esoterically making you money, sort of, right? You would get brand deals, but
Yeah.
you'd post and it wasn't like post and then here comes the cash. With OnlyFans, you post and here comes the cash. It was and here's one of the funny things that happened for me, because you guys know I host photo shoots all the time, right? I host maybe 12 of them a year. And when I posted them before OnlyFans, I would get so many flakes. After OnlyFans, I don't get flakes anymore. Girls always show up, because if I have huge photographers coming or videographers, here's the other thing. Like I host the Paradise Challenge in Jamaica, and it used to be like 15% video, 85% photos. Not anymore. It's like it's half and half now. Half of it's now video, because these girls are using this content in order to make real money. So now the real thing has happened is you've gone from this sort of like pseudo, I'm going to post this and sort of make money. We're not really sure where. Maybe it's a brand deal. I'll do something for Andy Candy. She's on the pubic hair shaver. What the fuck's it called?
Oh, Manscaping.
Manscaping. Yeah, Manscaping.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andy. The Manscaping thing, right? So then I would get a brand deal with Manscaping or something like that. But now it's like literal. I will post this and sell it for $20 on my IG, and I will make however many. And then when girls know, like I know 2 girls here are making over $300K a month here, but they're doing porn. Some girls I know, I'll tell you 2 girls, Kindly and Caitlin Runk, who have not shown zero nudity on their IGs and make a fuck ton of money. Those girls, again, they're making a lot of money every month. Kindly showed me like I saw it on her thing. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking crazy money, right? And then you see something like that, and then like, again, people can't stand the fact that you're doing this. Like you got away. Oh, this is the right. You went to church. You were in high school, and your guidance counselor told you need to study. You need to marry somebody when you're young. You need to do. They gave you these instructions on what to do in life. You need to have kids when you're young. You need to save all this money and buy a house. And they gave you this instruction menu, and you didn't fucking follow it. Neither of you did. Sort of, but not really. You didn't follow it. And then instead of following it, you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars on social media to look pretty. And then it's just a big fucking thumb in their eye for these people who told you how to live your life. What do you guys think about that?
Yes.
Yeah. They're mad that you are not working 9 to 5, that you are not working 40 hours a week. Well, I mean, the truth is we work more than 40 hours a week.
Oh,
I mean, that's just the reality behind anybody that owns their own business. And people are like, oh, you just work OnlyFans, you don't own your own business. But it really is a business. You know, you have to treat it like a business if you want to be successful.
Exactly.
And people are just, I think people that have a problem with OnlyFans or women making money in any form on the internet are literally just pissed off that they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And men are like, well, I can't do that because I'm not a woman. It must be so easy to have fucking tits and an ass. And it's like, I know plenty of men that make way more fucking money than I do on OnlyFans and other places on the internet. So just because, you chose not to do that doesn't mean that everybody else can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a lot of people can't wrap their minds around of how it is today with, it's not even OnlyFans. A lot of people are making a fuck ton of money on YouTube.
Exactly.
I mean,
TikTok.
Everywhere. TikTok. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to be offended by somebody, there's a gamer out there right now, or some kid who's like opening boxes. Right, there's that one kid. He does box. What's it called?
Ryan's toy review.
Yeah, $9 million a year.
No, 22 million.
22 million.
He was the highest earner. I think so. I don't know if this was 2019. I think it was like 2019. He made $22 million.
Yeah,
I mean, you can fact check that. I don't know if 100%, but I know that one of the years he made $22 million.
What the fuck?
Just opening gifts on YouTube. So go be mad at them. Go be mad at him first. How about some gamers, like some guys out there who play COD, and all they do is a game, and they make $100,000 a month, like gaming. Go be mad at them first, and then go ahead and be mad at them second, because that's kind of a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah.
Just going back to what we were saying before. So this is an interesting concept when it comes to OnlyFans. There's more than 2 different avenues, but there's main 2 avenues, right? When I explain to men, hey, there's women who go on OnlyFans and don't show any nudity and don't have sex with anyone. They're like, really? They're actually surprised by this. They think everyone who's on OF is doing porn. So now we have 2 different avenues, right? There's the one avenue where we just no nudity, and then we have a little bit of topless, and then the other side where I have a friend who it's her and her husband. It's her and her husband with 2 girls. It's her and her husband with 3 girls. It's her and her husband with 2 trannies. It's her and her husband with a midget. It's her and her husband with tentacles. It's her by herself with a fuck machine and 4 other girls. It's her with, we can keep going forever.
Yeah, that's porn.
Yeah.
Right. No, but it's not porn. It's just like, can you talk about this? So I know some girls, it's like when you cross that line, you can't go back. You can go in one direction, but you can't go the other. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel it's very true, because no matter what, they always want more.
Yeah.
So the minute let's just say you're doing implied and then they want topless. And then after topless, they want, oh, let me see your kitty. And then from there, it's like, okay, now let me see you figure yourself. And then it just, okay, now let me see you get fucked. I don't know. It's never, you can't go backwards.
Right.
I've actually talked to girls who do porn and they're like, gosh, I wish I wasn't giving so much of myself away. I wish I can go back to just, teasing.
And then I know plenty of girls who are like, I'm so fucking happy.
Yeah.
I'm making money doing this. Like I masturbate on my own every single day. Anyways, now I get paid to do it in front of camera.
Yeah.
Right.
I literally talked to a creator that told that to us on our podcast.
We did actually.
Shout out to Adelia.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome.
She is fucking awesome. But
girl.
she's like, man, I did this every day at home alone anyways. Now I do it for the camera.
That makes sense.
And I make fuck tons of money. And she's like a top 0.02% creator on OnlyFans, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
That's judged by revenue or subscribers?
So that's by revenue.
Okay.
So that's by like monthly 30-day basis rolling how much money you've made in 30 days.
Yeah.
So depending on how much money other people are making, where you stand in the, in the top. So that's a lot of money. For me personally, I feel like I do think it's a slippery slope. Like Lynnie was saying, once you start doing something, your fans do get really, they get entitled to a piece of you and they want bigger and bigger pieces. Right. And so it does get a little bit emotionally exhausting sometimes if you don't have really firm boundaries.
Right.
And even obviously with boundaries, it can weigh you down. But like for me personally, I did Playboy at a pretty young part in my career. I think I did it when I was fucking, I don't know, I first posed for Playboy, maybe tested when I was like 19. I just like right off the bat knew like I just want to do Playboy. And after I did Playboy, I was a cyber girl. I ended up being a Playmate. I stopped shooting nude and people were pissed at me. Like, well, you were naked in Playboy. So why won't you get naked on OnlyFans? That's my personal choice.
Yeah.
So in a sense, I did take it back.
Me and my pastor talked about this and we decided no more nudity on my OnlyFans. Please swipe up. I'm doing $3 for the whole month. Join me for a whole, no, I'm just kidding.
But seriously, and what's interesting is I also agree with you. I do not think that nudity is porn.
Yes.
No.
Everyone has a naked body. Like, yes, all of our parts are different sizes and shapes, but we all literally have the same anatomy. So this stigma that nudity is wrong is just mind-blowing to me. I don't think that nudity is porn. I do think that like touching yourself, getting into that does lead to that.
Yes.
Because that is like more sexual. Like you're stimulating yourself sexually, then to me that's like that falls into the category of sex.
Yeah.
But I've had people tell me like, oh, well, even just implied nudity is porn because you're acting like you're stimulated or just touching yourself, like touching your chest or touching your arms. I'm like,
you're like, that's not fucking porn.
Like, this is porn?
Yeah.
But I mean, for some people, like, come on, let's talk about ASMR for a second.
Oh.
Hello.
We can talk about
Hello. Do you like that?
We don't have to worry about it. We can talk about it right now.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've had a lot of interesting requests for all sorts of things.
Oh my God, I went to the store and bought cucumbers. It was so fucking hot.
I can't even, you guys.
Man, we have 10 million viewers now. What happened?
Fuck, yeah. I think I'm bothered all of a sudden.
Oh, shit.
Different strokes for different folks.
So I'll talk about a moral hazard here. So I think OnlyFans is great because it's allowed for no other reason. And obviously you two did not fall into this category, but there were a lot of women who were being trafficked and a lot of women who were being extorted by men. And now they can go this avenue and now they are making the money for themselves and they just pay, whatever cut to OF. And it's not theoretical. I can name for you 12 girls, maybe more that I know, because I live in Vegas. I'm not going to lie. We know there are girls that are escorts here. And that they don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Ever. They never have to go to a fucking strange hotel room. And you're like, well, they never had to before. You don't know their life story. You don't know that somebody beat the shit out of them and took their fucking passport. You don't know what happened to them beforehand.
Yeah.
You don't know that they were married. Their husband took everything from them. They had no money whatsoever. Do you understand what I'm saying? Animals, whatever that they had to take care of. And they were put into desperate straits. You don't know their situation. And so now they do this. And for whatever reason, because I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but now you don't have to do this, it puts yourself in a dangerous situation anymore. So for that part, it's good. Let's talk about the part that might not be so good. And I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts. I know a girl, she was filming with her boyfriend. He's a really good looking, tall guy. She broke up with this dude because it was very toxic. She starts dating another guy. For whatever reason, what you guys can probably guess, she can't film with this dude. She ends up having to film with her ex. And she's in this weird situation where she's having to go back to her ex. This is, by the way, I'll just state right now, what's her name? Kaylin Ward. The girl is the top girl. She's doing this. Exactly what I just said. She did this where she was with a dude, broke up with the dude, and then now she has to film or at least show videos of her with the previous dude while she's with another guy right now. And how weird the sort of moral hazard it gets for you to, because like girls who do hardcore porn, they want to film with certain guys. And now you have a situation where like you're trying to be in a relationship, but man, you made $100,000 off one video. You see the moral hazard that's created from that. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
We're like,
shit.
whoa, damn.
Damn, $100,000 off a video. That's crazy.
Well, no, I know one girl who was just she wasn't even doing nude, and her boyfriend convinced her to do one guy girl. She made $125,000 off this one video that she did.
Wow.
She broke up with the guy, and then it was just one of these situations where she wanted to buy a house, and this guy's he hit her like fucking terrible, dude. Goes back to him to film because she's not comfortable filming with anyone else, so that she can buy this house. I mean, is this a weird conundrum that I'm seeing? I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I think this is something that's real in all in all aspects of like social media and online, Snapchat, the world, like in just in general, like maybe even in the porn industry, like the traditional porn industry, is that you come into these things where mental health just ties into so much of what you're doing and where you are. Like it just, I mean, it does absolutely cause these issues. Do I think that it's just OnlyFans or the fault lies on OnlyFans? I don't think so. But there are real issues that women and men are facing.
Yeah.
Or videos where I know several instances actually where two people are filming videos together and they break up.
Yes.
And then one person is still making money on the videos, and the person that was their partner
is exactly
like,
the situation I'm talking about.
They're like, I don't want this video out there anymore.
Yes.
Stop it. Like, stop selling this video. And they're like, it's already on the internet. It's too bad.
Yeah.
And so then you have this other person feeling like vulnerable, like, I don't want the world seeing this, like, take this down. And they're trying to take it down and get like content removal to have the video taken down. And it does. It's like, who's the right party? So I think that there's a lot of like legal and ethical issues surrounding it when you have more than one person, especially on an account too. I know several people that like they broke up and somebody kicked them out of the account and the account's in their name, but they were both using the account.
Right.
So whose account is it?
Right.
You're both in the videos, you're both fucking, but the money's in one person's name.
Yeah, no, this is. I mean,
it's a problem.
These
but
are standard business practices. This happens in all different kinds of businesses.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually the example I gave you. Exact same thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's a situation where you have, and this is numerous times I've seen this, where people are filming together and they're exchanging. And you'll see the same video on, maybe they'll both offer it or whatever on their Twitter or OF or whatever. And then when they do it, one side is like, I want this down, or I don't like this person anymore. I don't want to be associated with this person anymore for whatever reason. And they're like, well, I have the legal right to have it. You gave me the release, so you can't go back. And so that becomes a bit of a problematic nature. A little bit on a lighter note, since we have already gotten into the First Amendment. I was waiting to the end of the podcast to talk about that. Let's talk about this. So you guys had some topics that I thought were fantastic on your show, and I liked your insight. So here's one of the things that I'm going to go ahead and talk about this real quick. I tell my clients and all my friends that they're like, why is my life the way it is, where I get invited to all kinds of stuff and I get to host all kinds of events. And I tell them one thing. I was like, I have a ton of female friends. And a lot of guys have a very difficult time with this because they're confusing Michael Sartain having female friends with being friend zoned. They think these are the same things. These are not the same things. Being friend zoned is shooting your shot and the girl's like, nah, I don't really see you like that. Having female friends is like, I know where Lynnie lives. I know things about Lynnie's life. I know where you live, blah, blah, blah. I know like, you went to college at this place. You went to college in Arizona, right?
Yes.
So this is biographical information that I would know, and then what your motivations are, and then treat you like a friend. I have my friend who's a therapist. It's really funny because she was on last week. She's a therapist. She gives me therapy advice. I give her like advice as far as like business stuff, and we give each other advice because she's my friend. This is very difficult for men to deal with. I ask guys this sometimes. I ask this question often. If you could be in a hot tub with 6 really attractive women, you're not going to have sex with any of them, but you could play Never Have I Ever and just like laugh your ass off. Would you rather do that or go play video games? And I find most men say they'd rather play video games because they don't like the idea of no chance of having sex with these women. Does that make sense?
Is that because they see women as only sexual objects?
Some men do. So this is the saying I have. A lot of men I know like having sex with women, but they don't like women. And this is a problem because again, one of the situations happened is for me, because I've been around this so much, it doesn't affect me as much. But for some other guys, if I were to introduce you to other guys, the pitch of their voice would go up and they would act different. They would act weird. And they would be, because their brain would tell them, I need to be the best version of myself to have a shot with you two. Which you don't, but they would sit there and pretend like they do, right? And so you have this type of situation where they would change their behavior based on how you guys act. And one of the things I always tell guys is like the way you want to get out of that and the way you want to become incredibly calibrated to meet the woman of your dreams is to have a fucking ton of female friends that are just like her. I went through a really bad breakup maybe 6 years ago. And when I went through the breakup, I had a female friend she's a huge model. She has like 3 million followers, blue check mark, she's a real estate agent now, but she's a man eater. This woman just runs through men like crazy. They're crying, baby, I love you, slashing their own fucking tires, starting to kill themselves. Like the girl's got the voodoo clam, right? And so she's but I've never dated her, right? Because I'm not, it's fun to look at a white tiger. It's scary to get in the fucking cage with her. And I know that's what this girl was. She's a man eater. And I would sit there and I'd ask her for advice. Like, what do I do about this girl? And her advice was the best advice I'd ever gotten in my life. It was toxic as shit, but it worked. Every single thing this woman said worked. Because what I was going through, she was an extreme example of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like having a basketball coach versus having Steve Nash teach you how to shoot free throws. Like this girl was so beyond what I needed, and her advice was phenomenal. And I tell guys this, like a lot of guys are afraid to have. You mentioned before about getting out of the friend zone, show other girls that you're talking to. Mm-hmm. I do that all the time anyway, and it's absolutely fantastic. Because I do get really good advice. A lot of guys don't think that women are going to give a good advice for other women, but I disagree. I think you find women that are the archetype that you like. Maybe they're married or in relationships, or for whatever reason, you're not going to date them. And then you become friends with as many of them as possible. And then from that, you can grow your social circle. Most of the women that I date, most women I date, women are introducing me to those women. Wake the fuck up. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. What do you guys think about this, guys having female friends?
Well, exactly what you said. I think it's a good thing, it definitely, especially if you're trying to get out of the friend zone, when we've talked about that in our episode. Shit.
Yeah. I think it is, if you're looking for a specific type of woman, you want to date a model, definitely become friends with models. Not because you want to fuck them, but because you want to learn from them. You want to learn how to act around them. You want to learn what's okay and what's not okay. And you're going to pick up on all of that literally from being friends with them.
How about this? So a lot of times, I'll be dating someone. They'll be like, oh, I'll see you at the Ignite party. And I'm like, yeah, no. She'll be like, oh, I'm going to the Ignite party tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I'll see you there. Like, yeah, I'll be there. But the reason why is because I know so many girls. Like, how do you get into these places? Well, I'm on stage at XS because I brought 12 girls. Again, this is just so mind-boggling to me how so many men do not get this. I watched this Steve Harvey give a video about this. There's another author who I actually like a lot, Rollo Tomasi. He was talking about this. He's like, men can't be platonic friends with women. I'm like, these are people who are not getting invited to the Playboy Mansion, but I am. These are people not getting invited to the Maxim party, but I am. And the reason why is I'm not special. It's because I have so many female friends, and I've never understood the antithetical behavior that men have towards this. Because what I think has happened is they had a crush on a Shantal in their life. They had a crush on a Lynnie when they were in junior high or high school, and that girl never gave them any attention. And so now they feel like if I become friends with them, now I'm being taken advantage of. And I've never felt like that. I've always felt when I have female friends like that, the crazy thing is, so here we go. Just imagine with me, ready? Thought experiment. We go to a nightclub and you go up and try to talk to a really pretty girl by yourself. And then you go try to talk to a really pretty girl and these two are with you. If you can you guys describe what that would be like? The different experience that would be.
I mean, that would be a completely different experience. Yeah. You would feel comfortable. Yeah. I mean, the other girl would be like impressed, like, oh, these are your friends.
Yes.
For some people it could be intimidating. And this was something I was actually thinking about asking you. Do you feel that like the right type of women are coming to you, are being introduced to you because of the female friends you keep?
Well, so for me, the thing is because I can't date someone who isn't comfortable. So I host all the bikini competitions here. I can't be comfortable with someone who wouldn't be comfortable with that. So if you were the one who introduced me to them, then I know that they're going to be comfortable with me having really attractive female friends.
Yeah, because they're probably friends with the woman that introduced you.
Correct. So as long as they're comfortable with that. I was dating a girl once, and then I used to host a bikini competition with Crystal Hefner, Hugh Hefner's wife. She was the DJ and I was the MC. And I introduced my girlfriend at the time to Crystal Hefner, and just the look on her face, she was not cool with this. It was like a weird situation. It was like I wasn't introducing her to my hot female friend. I was introducing her to Hugh Hefner's fucking wife, who then invited me to go to Midsummer Night's Dream. It's like, this is not, oh, my boyfriend hangs around his ex. This is, my boyfriend is going to hang out with a bunch of playmates at the Playboy Mansion. So for me, it's got to be, you have to be cool with that. Most women are not. And what I found before is that I tend to date women who like women, like sexually or attracted to women, because if they're not, then it's just not going to work. And the other reason why I like that is because I can be completely honest. I can also be completely honest with my friends, like my heterosexual friends, like kindly, like I can tell her everything about my dating life. She loves hearing it because she's my friend and she's also in a serious relationship. So it kind of works out, right? Same thing with CJ Sparks. Like I can tell them everything. So I like that part of it too. As far as the advice part, I'm just telling you, like the advice part is great too, because you can find out what works and what doesn't work. But I like hearing what worked on you. And like, I like when women are very self-aware. They're like, I like bad boys. I keep dating 6'5" male strippers covered in tattoos. What I don't like to hear is you're dating the 6'5" male stripper with the tattoos and you keep telling me how you like nice guys. I don't like that shit. When I hear that, I stop listening to the girl. But when I hear a girl be like, yeah, I was doing this and then I end up cheating on my boyfriend with my ex because he's so fucking hot and he does this. I was like, okay, this woman is self-aware. Good. Now I want to listen to some of this information. But when I hear girls talk about, no, I'm just looking for monogamy, and yet they can't keep a relationship because they don't want to settle down, then I don't want to listen to anything you have to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I look for that
It
with
does.
everybody.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Awareness is everything.
Yeah.
I mean, why we do things, why we think things, why we act certain ways, it's all very relevant. But I think that answered my question. I think that the right type of women are attracted to you because of the woman, the friends that you have that are female.
Yes.
And I think that's a good point to men. Like, if you're attracted to a certain type of woman, hang out with women like her.
For sure.
Make friends with women like her, because you're going to learn everything you need to know.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that's fucking smart.
Yeah,
it really
and
is.
The other thing is I would tell you is, find mentors in all different types of your life. So I would find people who have healthy relationships to ask me about, and ask them about healthy relationships. I would not ask my fuckboy guy friends, right? Which I do have. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a fuckboy. It's like 2021 in Las Vegas. I get it. Or my homegirls who like literally just jump from one relationship to another. They keep telling me they want monogamy, but then as soon as they start dating the guy, they're like, I'm bored or he's possessive. That's always the first thing. I'm bored or he's possessive, right? And then they want out of it immediately. I want to find people who have healthy relationships and then ask them, how are you able to make this work for 10 years or something like that, right? That's essentially what I would do. So let's go over these specific topics. The ones I have written down were dirty talk, sex positions, porn, threesomes, and friend zone. And we have just been deplatformed for saying all those words. The one you guys talked about before, one thing that I noticed was you guys are really comfortable talking about sex on the show. You have, especially when you guys were talking about climaxing and stuff like that. I found that men, and myself included, I actually am not that comfortable talking about sex. I'm comfortable talking about relationships and very comfortable talking about evolution and social dynamics. But when it comes to talking about sex with my friends, it's always been, I've noticed that women are way more comfortable talking about this than men.
It's true. We actually just had a discussion about this recently, about self-pleasure, how so taboo to talk about. It's true. People are not typically comfortable talking about sex, and why? Yeah,
very true. I mean, I think that it just depends on how you were raised, honestly, how you're raised, the views you have, who shaped those views. I didn't have an open upbringing at all. I had a very closed upbringing where sex was wrong and sex was for men's pleasure. Masturbation didn't exist. And I actually found that women weren't comfortable with talking about sex in my experience. Like, I never heard girls like talking about, oh, he did this and he did that. Like, that did not exist. I don't know exactly how I got comfortable talking about sex. I think that just with age and comfort with myself as who I am sexually, who I am as a person, that just made me more comfortable. And then I have a friend like Lynnie to where just like we can talk about anything.
Anything and everything.
I mean, we became friends like quite quickly, and it was like I can literally tell her anything. She knows some of like my darkest, deepest secrets that I wouldn't tell anyone,
Right.
but I would tell her, and I feel comfortable talking about it with her. And so when we get on air, it's like we can talk about these things.
Yeah.
You know,
Because we're
because and they're
comfortable.
real. They're
Chase,
real.
Chase, do you want to talk with me about self-pleasure later?
Sounds like fun.
Can we do some self-pleasure talk?
Sure.
Are we cool with that? Okay. Well, I feel more
Why is
comfortable.
that such a stigma though?
Yeah.
So it's just weird because, okay, I'm gonna I think for typical males, and again, I don't know, I have some friends that are homosexual males, but I don't know if it's the same for them. But for typical, most of my guy friends are heterosexual males, and then talking to them, it's just, there's for men who are straight, I believe that a lot of times their masculinity is tied to their heterosexuality. And for women that are straight, their femininity is not tied to their heterosexuality. Meaning like you can be feminine and still like be naked around women and kiss girls and hug them while they're like, it's not really a big deal. But as men, it would be strange if I was like, hey, what's going on, bro? We're just naked, like looking at each other's penises. It would be weird. But where you guys can look at each other naked, it's like not weird. So it would just extrapolate that towards talking about, it's like, oh yeah, this happened with my penis in this position, and that like we don't really have these discussions. We don't. But pretty much guys are like fist bump, yeah, bang that chick. Like that's it. That's about all you hear, right? And I think that's part of what it is. It's like the descriptive nature of it just goes a little bit past sort of this cool masculine demeanor. I think I'm just theoretical. I'm just
Yeah,
being
no,
theoretical.
I think
that's
that
what it is.
really is what it is. And I think
Totally.
that there's like this perception, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but from my view, how I view it for straight men is that talking about, masturbating or talking about their dicks or whatever, or being naked in front of other men would cause other people to think that they're gay.
Yes.
And that makes them uncomfortable.
Correct.
And they don't feel masculine. They all of a sudden feel weak, which I feel like, and this is not all men, but I feel like a lot of men view weakness tied to like being feminine or like, oh, I'm not being masculine, so I'm being weak. I'm being feminine. I'm looking at another guy's dick, so that
Yeah.
makes me gay, and it makes him feel insecure.
Right.
And it's like it's kind of mind-boggling. I think that ties into like a bigger societal view of how we are supposed to act.
So let me say this. I disagree with you. I don't think it's societal. I think it's evolutionary. I think it's an evolutionary view. And again, by the way, by no means am I saying that homosexual men aren't masculine. You could be homosexual and masculine. I'm just saying typically as a heterosexual man, you tie your masculinity to your heterosexuality. That's just generally the way it is. That's why women are more comfortable kissing. Like you've seen girls before, like the cameras are out. It's my birthday. I'm drunk and I kiss my best friend. It doesn't mean you want to have sex with them or that you're a lesbian. It just you kiss your best friend. If dudes did that, that's magic and fucking Isaiah Thomas at the NBA All-Star. I'm sorry, I'm bringing up some crazy shit. Yeah, generally you don't see dudes kissing each other on the mouth, when they're super happy about something. It's perceived a different way, right? And that's where those perceptions come. I don't think those perceptions are cultural. I absolutely think they're evolutionary. I think they completely come from evolutionary because we don't see a lot of women with male harems, but we do see a lot of the other way around if we look at the anthropological record, right? We look at the man with the most children was Muhammad the Bloodthirsty from Morocco, and he had 880 something children. And the woman with the most children was a Russian peasant, and I forget her name, and this is probably 200 years ago. She had 64 children. I believe she had something like 12 pairs of twins or something like that. You can, by the way, Evolution of Desire by David Buss, fantastic book. You guys should definitely read that. And they talk about this, where the men, they get off more by having multiple partners and women more by having one consistent partner. And so because of that, our desires from an evolutionary standpoint are very different, right? You guys talked before about monogamy, right? So now I get into this discussion with every single guest I have. Do you believe that monogamy is the natural state for Homo sapiens?
I don't even know. Like, I get that, like, I feel like a lot of women say, like, yes, monogamy is...
It's what they want. There's nothing wrong with you
yeah.
wanting monogamy, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I also don't think threesomes are the natural state for Homo sapiens, but
But they happen.
I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I just feel like that. I don't know. I guess I do confuse like what is like the natural human reaction versus like what society, because society has been telling people to be with one person for forever.
Correct.
And if you are with more than one person, then you're a fucking whore.
So again, let's go back to this. Society has been telling people that won't be with one person for 11,000 years since the Sumerians invented marriage. But but Homo sapiens are 300,000 years old, and like hominids are 3 million years old, and there was no marriage. So I'm just bringing up the fact that like we tend to think things were always the way it was, right? And that's not the case. There was no Instagram. There weren't even boob jobs before 1974. Like we're like plastic surgery was like in its archaic form in the 1970s. I don't know if you guys remember the 1990s, but like boob jobs were like a fucking crapshoot. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they were good, and sometimes they were a disaster.
Twist on.
Yeah, they're just completely out. Like we've come so far, right? With social media, the fact that I'm able to see so many images of perfection, all this has changed. But my programming comes from 300,000 years of living with like this very barely. There were several instances during Homo sapien evolution where we were almost wiped out. There were fewer than 60,000 Homo sapiens on the planet. For the longest time, there was under 100,000 Homo sapiens on the planet. Then the 19th century happened, antibiotics, and we go from 1 billion to 8 billion within like 150 years. That's essentially what happened. So we keep thinking the world was always the way it was after we had cars and electricity. The reality of the situation is that's less than 1/1000th of the human experience. And so the majority of the human experience is, I like you because you're attractive. I want to kill you because you're not part of my tribe, and that's it. And if you don't believe me, go look at World War II. Go look at Genghis Khan. This is the natural state for Homo sapiens. So anyway, what your views on monogamy?
I mean, I feel like it depends on the person. You know, some people, have commitment issues.
Yes.
Some people like to be with multiple people, and then there's people that want to have that really happy relationship, and they're madly in love, and and then I mean, I think it all depends. It's all personal preference. It all depends on, I don't know. Some people are single forever because they just want to fucking play the field. And then people either get married and divorce and then get married again to someone else. So, I mean, I don't really have like an opinion on it.
You know what single is? So we have this stat in sports called wins above replacement. And it's like, it's not a girl versus zero. It's a girl versus the PS5. It's a girl versus dating multiple girls. It's a girlfriend versus going on vacation by yourself with your friends. It's a girl versus going to, a huge party. It's a girl versus going to the strip club with your homies. Like, that's what it is. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so for some people, that outweighs the relationship part of it, right? The fulfillment. I love to be in a relationship so much. I would love to be in another one. But everything would have to be right, and it would have to be more fulfilling for me than the replacement of it, right? Which is the PS5 and going out every night on stage at Access. That's what it would have to replace. And so that's the decision I make. For some people, that's an easy decision to make. I'd rather be married. I'd rather be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going back, and if you guys want to talk about that more, we can. Dirty talk, sex positions, and porn. The dirty talk one I thought was interesting because you guys talked about what you liked and what you didn't like. That's again, this is one of these situations where I know a lot of dudes who just don't do this because it doesn't feel masculine to them to say these things. What do you guys think about this? Coaxing men out of this belief.
Coaxing men out of disbelief.
Yeah.
I think that, I don't know, everything has a time and place.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier. I know this kind of ties into our earlier conversation, but time and place. So like dirty talk is not like something you say to somebody when you're walking down the fucking hall.
Yeah.
Like this is not something you just shout at someone. This is like a very intimate thing that you talk about beforehand. Like, hey, I really like it. I would really like it, or I would think it would be really hot if you fucking text me like when you're horny or when you want me or when you want something specific. And it's something that you talk about. And a lot of people are just uncomfortable with talking
because I need you to write these down.
It's something that you have to communicate. It's not just something that you blurt out or you're going to feel fucking stupid.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know as a woman, most women are very, it's all in the mind, So if some women are really into sexting or dirty talk, it stimulates them to get them in the mood to fucking have amazing sex. So,
it's a dirty novel.
Yeah.
It's like reading a dirty book. Why do you think so many women read dirty novels?
And so many men don't.
Yes.
This is the thing.
Because men are visual.
Right, well, it's for us, it's so one-dimensional. And then for when I hear women's experience for attraction. So again, there's a book, I will highly recommend this book by Cindy Meston and David Buss. It's called Why Women Have Sex. And there's 238 different reasons why women have sex, which means there's infinite reasons. For men, there's like 4 reasons. Right? But the reasons just they're so varied. It's what's called negative kurtosis in statistics. There's so many different things that women are attracted to or that stimulate them to have sex. I know women that specifically like short men, short, wealthy, really Napoleonic, complex type of men. And I know some women that just like the dumbest, tallest male strippers that they can fucking get their hands on.
Strippers.
And I know some women literally, if the girl makes her laugh, that's all she needs. And I know some women that are actually sapiosexuals. I know a lot of women who say they're sapiosexuals that are not sapiosexuals. That meaning that they are attracted to intelligence. I know some women who are legitimately sapiosexuals. Whereas men, it just doesn't work like that. It really, you guys are attractive, and if you made twice as much income as you made right now, you would not be any more attractive to most men. Do you guys understand that? And while that is a bit of a double standard, the men's focus is way more narrow, whereas women's is a lot wider. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really interesting. So now here's the situation. For us, the idea of dirty talk, because a man might look at you and just see physical attractiveness. When you look at him, this is why dudes are taking roids and fucking going out and get the Lamborghini and the fake watch, is because they think you're looking at them the same way, right? But you're not. Mm-hmm. You're looking at for all these other signs. Mm-hmm. So the dirty talk doesn't occur to them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Where it occurs to you because it's a different form of stimulation. It's like physical attractiveness, intelligence. Well, here's dirty talk. It's a different avenue of stimulation. For men, we just have one avenue. So it's like if you dirty talk to us or don't dirty talk to us, it's kind of the same to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Although I like it. It's the same to us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely does. Yeah. And like she said, it's like I feel like men are very visual. So it's like you walk in and you look hot and that's all they need. But me, I got to start thinking about before I even walk in, because if I just walk in and you look at me and you're like, oh, I want to fuck you, I'm going to be like, okay, like, that's nice. Okay. That's nice. You want to fuck me? Well, okay. Like, that doesn't mean I want to fuck you right then. Right. You have to stimulate my fucking mind.
She goes, that doesn't mean I want to fuck you right then.
No. She doesn't I'm just being real. Like if I'm walking in and that's what you just said to me, I'd be like,
you want to fuck me? That doesn't mean I want to fuck you right now. Stank face. Like, I'm sorry, my bad.
That was fucking amazing.
I mean, that's just how I feel. Like you got to do something more than me than just look at me.
Yeah.
Or just tell me something.
Yeah, you can walk in and you can get an instant boner. You know what I mean? But for you, it's like you're not.
I don't have a boner. Are you going to give me a boner?
So great. You guys actually mentioned this on the show, and I just thought about it. Female Viagra. So Viagra was tested on men. It's actually a blood flow product. All it does is just change blood flow. And so obviously, what is the next hypothesis that you'd want if it works so well for men? To try it on women. And it does the same thing. It actually increases blood flow to the genitalia, which has nothing to do with women's libido. That's the difference. A man's libido is literally tied to his plumbing. A woman's libido is not. Make sense? Mm-hmm. That's the difference, right?
There's a female Viagra, though. I actually took it once just out of fucking pure curiosity.
Did it work?
I mean,
I thought you were making a joke, girl. I thought it was like
no, it wasn't a joke. I forgot.
There's a female bag. It's called a Fendi bag. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, that doesn't do anything for me. I forgot what it was called, but one of my friends had it, and she had gotten it prescribed from doctor, and I don't know what it was called, but it's the same idea. It's a little pill, and you take it, and it's supposed to fucking get you turned on. Did it work? I don't know.
Because you got to change the way you think, right? Do you guys understand MDMA was originally for that? It was a legal prescription for women who did not want to have sex with their husbands, which, by the way, raises a bunch of other ethical questions. But yeah, that is where MDMA was originally created for. Please look it up. Don't take my word for it. That's exactly that way it happened. And Coca-Cola had cocaine in it back in the 90s.
Yes, it sure did.
Yes, and the Spanish flu actually came from Kansas. We had all these fun facts for you. Let's talk about this one. My favorite one was the friend zone one that you guys talked about. And I've said this to you before, and I'll say this right now. If you guys or any women out there could make a product, an info product on how to get men out of the friend zone, you will make $1 billion. And I don't mean 100 million either. I mean $1 billion. This is something that men have been trying to do forever, is figure out ways to get out of the friend zone. More so than just like meeting strange women. It's like women that they completely have a one-itis for, like getting out of that and getting into the friend zone. You guys had some advice. Could you repeat some of that?
Where to start?
Oh God, I know. Well, I mean, like what we mentioned earlier, that's a huge one, is become friends with a lot of females and share that with a person that you're, or, I don't know, like, oh.
One of the things I thought that you thought was I remember that you recommended was like if you're trying to see if a woman is interested in you, and this is clearly if you don't have a lot of attractive female friends, because I don't think that this would work on them. But say you have a girlfriend and you're like, oh, or not a girlfriend, sorry, a friend who's a female, and you show her a photo of a really hot woman. It's like, hey, what do you think about this girl? I'm thinking about asking her out. See how she reacts.
Yes.
I think that is pretty obvious, because
It is.
as much as women like don't ever want to show that they're jealous or insecure, like women do get jealous. So if she gets jealous, that means she's fucking into you. She doesn't want you with that hot woman because she wants to be with you.
So here's, I'm gonna add one more thing. It's not that she gets jealous and she's into you. The fact you showed her a picture of another hot woman could have made her attracted to you.
Yes.
This is a function a lot. Again, we go back to the thing before. This is an actual function in psychology. Don't take my word for it. Please look it up. It's called pre-selection, and it's in several two gender species where the male grouse, geese, whatever, that has a bunch of females around it is more attractive to the female geese. There's the same thing that happens in rodents. There's the same thing that happens in primates. And guess what? We're mammals also. It's the same thing that happens with Homo sapiens. A lot of times, the reason why girls are attracted to Justin Timberlake isn't his physical appearance. It's the sound of the other women screaming for him. That causes the attraction, right? So it's literally called pre-selection. And then obviously the female brain evolved to figure out, well, I don't know all these things. Like, again, if I want to know things about whether or not I'm attracted to Lynnie or if I'm attracted to Shantal, the information I get in 1 second, and I know I'm attracted or if I'm not. But as a female, you do not know if I'm a psychopath, if I'm physically violent, if I'm terrible in bed, if my breath smells, if I'm terrible with women, if I'm a liar. There's all these things you don't know.
Yes.
What's a great way to figure it out? If you guys know that two of my closest friends are CJ Sparks and Kindly Myers, there's a pretty good chance that I'm not a psychopath. Does that make sense? Not, it could be, but probably not. And so having a bunch of female friends, I've said this before, sort of inoculates you or sterilizes you from a lot of these situations. A lot of the questions women ask are going to be answered by who you used to date and what female friends you have, right? So that's why I would say that's kind of a great way to stimulate attraction. Photo editing apps.
Oh, fuck.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just straight up talk about it because I don't know. So I learned about this individual named Coconut Kitty. Shout out to Coconut Kitty. I've never been friends with a 12-year-old before. So Coconut Kitty is a woman, and I'm learning more and more. But she basically, for those of you who don't know, there's a filter on Snapchat that can make you look really young. There's another app called Face App. By the way, almost every big influencer you're seeing, if you ever see that sort of like plaster look on their face, where it looks just a little bit fake, it's Face App. It's an artificial intelligence program. It's actually created in Russia. And that program, what it does is it makes your features symmetrical and then it smooths out your face. Well, this Coconut Kitty is using Face App. I believe, if I were going to guess, she's using like the child filter, because I use Face App all the time. She's using the child filter, and she's using this filter called Star, I'm guessing. And she's making herself, you were saying before, you believe she's in her 40s, and she's making herself look like a prepubescent child with a porn star's body. And so that's kind of the issue. And because of that, she's getting a fucking ton of followers. You said you had 12,000 subscribers on OnlyFans, something like that. Did you guys have a specific... we talked about this for a while. If you guys are comfortable talking about this, did you guys have... what do you think about this level of manipulation of your image?
Personally, I actually stumbled upon a video exposing her on TikTok. I had seen her pictures before on Instagram, but just kind of glanced and looked away. I knew something looked off about it, like just heavily edited, but I didn't know to like the extent until I saw that video and I started digging. And I was just like, I remember sending her the picture, sending her the video, and being like, what the actual fuck is going on? Like, for me, I just feel like it's really wrong. And I know a lot of men, especially, I did the Reddit dive, the Reddit research. And a lot of men were not bothered by this or thought that it was justifiable or that it was okay or she still looks great,
because
whatever.
they were turned on by it.
Because they were turned on by it. But for me, I see it as like you're exploiting children.
That's an interesting way. So again, these are not specific children, but you're exploiting the image the innocence of children by taking on that face. You're basically, it's a cultural appropriation, except this is not a culture, it's children. And you're doing so because you know there are pedophiles out there.
Exactly.
Right. And there are men that wish that they could look at a child's face and get away with like fucking you and your woman body, but they're looking at the face of a child. And I've had arguments with people who are like, oh, well, a real pedophile wouldn't be attracted to a woman's body.
I mean, I don't
I mean, I just hard disagree. There are different types of pedophiles, just like there are different types of people. People are into different things, but you're giving somebody a face that looks like they're 12.
Yeah.
How does that not play into it? I couldn't look at it. I couldn't fuck somebody that's face, like if I met her in real life, I couldn't, like, and I was a man, I couldn't have sex with her because her face looks like she's fucking 10 or 12.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking
like,
weird.
while your body, you have to be stimulated by that. And I feel like her and many other women that she's apparently coaching and other people that use
Yes.
coaching. I fuck you not. Coaching women on how to essentially market themselves in a more sophisticated manner to bring in more money.
Well, and you're catfishing the fuck out of people too.
Some people don't think this is catfishing. I'm like,
it's so catfishing.
She calls it art.
Yeah,
she calls it art. So here's another actually example, and I wish I had the story pulled up on this, but so a man was actually caught doing this on Instagram, and he was apparently posting pictures, and he looked like this young guy, and one day he posted a picture, and you could see his reflection in the car, like in the window of the car, and you could see he was actually fucking old. And he ended up deleting his Instagram, I think, or whatever, and he was just doing this for likes. Oh,
this was an Asian guy.
This was
who was actually a woman. He was posting. No, it's like a young child, like a 12-year-old, 14-year-old.
Yeah, he was making himself like 12, like 12 or 14-year-old. But he was actually old as fuck, and he was doing it for like likes and attention and DMs or whatever he was doing it for.
That's fucking weird.
It is really weird, but I mean, she's clearly doing it to make money. This has to make her tons of fucking money.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But it's attracting the wrong type of engagement for me. I get fucking pissed about it, and I can't even talk about it. I'm just like, oh, it's just fucking wrong. It just pisses me off, and it worries me about, like, is this like the future of the internet?
Or is this encouraging child trafficking? It's really interesting because, again, the problem is there is no individual child being exploited, but children would be exploited because it's encouraging this type of behavior on social media. That is really interesting. What do you think about this, Lynnie?
I mean, it's fucking true. It's just, I don't know. And it's like we don't usually roast people on our podcast, and we weren't trying to roast her, but we were just trying to, like, it's just make people aware that, I don't know, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
We didn't even like say who it was on our podcast.
No, I'm happy to say I happened to discover who this woman was, and I was like a little shocked.
Yes.
Shout out to Coconut Kitty. You're welcome to come on here, but I have a feeling you won't. I have a feeling you're not going to come on camera here. I don't know why.
What is your personal opinion about it? What do you think?
You guys bringing it up that way, because for me, I didn't find her attractive, so I didn't notice her.
Yeah.
So I don't notice all girls, but like for her, she did look too young for me, so I would just swipe.
Yeah.
Because I would just be honest with you, I find a lot of Wilhelmina models to be way too young looking and way too skinny, and it's funny because that body type doesn't get suspended on social media accounts.
That's
like
true.
like the curvy body type does. And so a lot of times, listen, man, I don't live in Las Vegas on accident. I like that body type. That's why I live here. So now I see this frequently on social media where I see these models who I don't think are attractive at all doing, runway shows in Milan. And I'm like, they're just not attractive to me in the slightest. They look like little boys. And then I start wondering, like, is that who they're marketing to? People who want to look at little boys? And they found kind of a workaround here. And maybe that's it. So for me, I don't know. I find that kind of weird. But the other thing is, like, when they're guys who are like into underage women, they don't tell me about it. So I don't know. It's like, it's not something that I'm going to ever know about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we noticed in some of the Reddit, when we were doing the whole Reddit dive thing, I feel like a lot of guys didn't even think anything of it. Some just think, oh, she's just fucking hot. But when you actually look and you see how the pictures are not consistent, and you'll see one where she looks older, and then like she's fucking 10 years old, but with tits.
So the thing is, like, so anime, I'm looking at women that don't exist, and they have unrealistic figures, right? And so I guess that's her excuse, is like, oh, it's just like anime. This is not a real thing. And I get where she's coming from, but the problem is, like what you said before, this does sort of encourage a type of a proclivity that is against the law. So I don't know. I mean, this is kind of a slippery slope here. I don't know.
It's like almost a way to get away with child porn. I mean, I mean, honestly, because
absolutely.
It looks like a child's face, but on a full-grown woman's body.
That's really
it just dabbles into that.
There has to be a line there, right? You have an adult actress, and then you you change her enough with augmented reality for her to look like a child,
Yeah.
technically you aren't breaking the law, but you're breaking the law. Like there clearly is a line, right? So how would a judge interpret this? It's like, well, I'm looking at a 12-year-old. Well, how did you know it's a 12-year-old? This person doesn't exist. But the actress was over age. This is a very interesting conundrum. I'm gonna have an attorney. I'm gonna have an attorney on here. And we're gonna talk about this. That is
That would be fascinating.
Yeah, it would.
Because
fascinating.
meanwhile, you also have, and this is a completely separate conversation, but you have teenagers on Snapchat sending each other nudes of each other,
Yeah.
and that's child porn. That same
Right.
teenager can be prosecuted for
Yes.
sending her own nude to her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend distributes it to friends, and now he has distributed pornography.
Correct.
And now they can both be charged with a crime.
Yeah.
But here's this woman who's making her art, so she calls it, look like child porn, but she's getting away with it.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I would be curious to hear what a lawyer has to
I would
say.
have to see what would a legal precedent or something
Yeah.
like this would be. Because I know something like this has probably happened at some point. If guys can make money off it, they're going to try. They're gonna host it on 8chan or whatever, 8kun, whatever it's called now, and they're gonna try to get as far away with this as they can. If there's a way to make money, they're gonna try to. I got a couple of questions from friends of ours. First question is from Kindly Myers. She goes, "I want to know how old Coconut Kitty really is and why she aspires to be a Chromo's dream. Chromo, like adrenochrome." That's hilarious. How old is she? How old did you think she
I
was?
can't remember how old she was. I think we were estimating that she was in her 40s, but I
Yeah.
mean, we could be wrong.
We could be way wrong.
Hey, she looks great for 40. She looks like she's 12. Great
Right?
job. That's great job. Yeah. That's awesome. CJ Sparks wants to know pizza or tacos.
Oh, fuck. That's a hard one. Tacos.
Yeah, tacos or burritos. I would have to
Burritos.
throw burritos in there because I'm just like all about the burritos.
Okay. Shout out to CJ. That's beautiful. Here's a thing that I wanted your opinion on. So I don't know if you're aware of this. So we talk about a lot about OnlyFans, and we talk about Instagram and just pornography in general and how pervasive it is, how easy it is to get your hand on it. It's not like a box that you have to hide in the woods, from your parents, like back in the day. Not to say that I had a box in the woods.
In the woods.
In East Dallas, in Lakewood. That never happened. But the thing is, the idea that something crazy has happened. So since the turning point for the change in adolescents or young adults is when the Facebook app came on the iPhone, which would have been 2007. From that point on, we started seeing this massive change in the way that teenagers and 20-year-olds started to behave, where we started seeing the outrage culture at universities where people couldn't come and speak if they didn't agree with what you had to say. And a lot of that came from the idea that whereas my generation, we would get in a fist fight after school, their generation, they would write posts about each other on Twitter. So it's a very different, passive aggressive is the way I would say it. I have a problem with you, but I won't go talk to you. I won't confront you face to face. And so what's happened because of that is you've lost a lot of social skills. And while in some cases, like teenage pregnancy is incredibly down, and so is children, underage drinking is also down, and kids driving and getting into car accidents is also extremely far down. The problem is something like 26% of men, I believe it's the University of Chicago that did the study, and it was in the Washington Post, 26% of men had zero sexual partners in the last year. 26% of men had zero sexual partners in the last year. And there was another study showing some higher number than that, like maybe 30-something% of men between the age of 18 and 30 had zero sexual partners for that entire 12-year period. I mean, they weren't counting whatever they did in high school, but from that point on, they had no sex. And the reason why, to me, is because of social media. And I was just curious what you guys think about that, because, again, the alternatives are so easy for them to find. And the skill set in order to pick up a woman is to attract a woman, especially a woman like you guys, it's not easy. There's a lot of steps that go into it. And if we do anything wrong, we fucking lose. So I'm just curious what you guys think about that.
I mean, exactly what you say is so true. Nowadays with social media or having just access to your phone just to look at anything, or even dating apps like Tinder or whatever, I don't even know. I feel like it's definitely easier to meet people nowadays, but I feel like people are definitely more introverted and more into, I don't know, just like not actually going out and meeting people in person. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I
feel
definitely
like-
think it's more
yeah.
scary.
Yeah, it is for sure. I mean, I guess that's what it seems to be.
Yeah, I think that there's just a lot more pressure because you're seeing like all these perfect people,
Yes.
especially if
Yeah.
you're following like models and celebrities, and you're like, wow, like they're so perfect. I mean, fuck. I mean, I think that sometimes I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I'm like, oh, get out. You know, you start to do like this comparison thing, and I think for
Yes.
men that seeing all of this is a little intimidating, and like you said, you don't know how to approach women, and it just becomes more and more difficult. But then meanwhile, like she's also mentioning like Tinder and all these other things, like that didn't exist.
Yeah, but
not that long ago.
I will tell you that it's like the top 12% of men on Tinder that are having sex with all the women.
It's like the same men just fucking
Yes.
everybody
So
over
in fact,
and over.
I will also tell you that there's other studies that show it's like 20% of men that are having sex with 85% of the women. And there's 26% of men, like I said, that are having no sexual partners at all. And a lot of women are very confused by this. And I'm like, okay, here, let me help you out with this. We're going to go to Walmart. You're going to walk all the way around the Walmart and notice every man there, not just the men you find attractive. Every single guy there. And then you're going to look around and you'll be like, oh, fuck. Oh, I forgot about these guys. Yes, there are 26% of men that are not having sex. Because you guys don't understand. You guys you could have a bad hair day. Dude's still going to want to have sex with you. You could even have bad breath. Dude's still going to want to have sex with you. For us, we have to do everything, especially on the first date. We have to do everything right. If we do anything wrong, we fall off the tightrope, right? For us. And so it's very difficult. Now you realize all these men that just can't get all these steps together to get in shape, dress correctly, have a house that's not in their not sleep in their mom's basement. They have all these things they have to put together in order to have sex with a woman. It's very difficult. Like, and a lot of women don't realize this because for you guys, it's like, oh, sex, okay, perform now, man. Do what you're supposed to do, right? So it makes it very difficult. I gave you a glance when she said something. She said something about how she looks on social media at perfect people.
Yeah, I mean, it's true.
Lynnie and I kind of thinking the same thing here. So you had mentioned, if you don't mind me talking about this, you had mentioned this. It's just Lynnie and I had this discussion. You had mentioned before, I thought it was very, very interesting. If you don't mind talking about this, that you had been cheated on 3 times before. Okay, and we're here like, what the fuck? Like
who the fuck would cheat on Shantal?
So if you could
Fucking idiot.
if you could give us some explanations, because what I would want to know is for these 3 guys, how did these motherfuckers get in the place to date you in the first place, and then what led to the cheating? If you just want to give some general understanding.
I was young. Some of that happened like when I was a teenager, like first boyfriend status. And he went to a party and got drunk, and a girl climbed on top of him and had sex with him. And his defense was, I was drunk and she took advantage of me.
Right.
Do you think I bought that?
Yeah. Good job, buddy. I'm sure that worked out well for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're doing great. She's doing okay too.
So I guess it was just like the wrong place, wrong time. I think that lots of people get cheated on, and I think that how attractive you perceive someone to be doesn't mean that they're not. I mean, come on. Like Jennifer Aniston
got cheated on.
Cheated on.
Mm-hmm.
You look at some of the most like beautiful women in the world, and they get cheated on, and it has nothing to do with them, and it has everything to do with the person doing the cheating. I think that when you cheat on someone, I think there are 2 different types of cheaters. Yeah. I think there are people that just inherently cheat because they don't care, right? They're just chronic fucking, I'm not thinking of the right word. They cheat on people, and they have no care about it. Pathological cheaters. Yeah. Okay. So you have those people, and then you have people that I feel that the issues are more deep rooted. They're insecure. They're feeling lonely.
So their default motion or their default setting is not to cheat, but they've been put into a situation where they do.
Yes. And I'm not saying that like they were forced to do it. I'm saying they had some type of weakness inside of them where they're like, they were feeling insecure about themselves. They were feeling lonely. Yeah. They were looking for some type of validation outside of their relationship. Correct. Maybe they weren't getting enough attention. That's not on their partner's fault for not giving them the exact amount of attention. That's on the person who cheated for not communicating with their partner that they were feeling lonely, that they were feeling disconnected. So I feel like there are just like 2 clear paths. And for me, I can't say to the reasons the people that cheated on me, which category. I mean, I think it was a little bit different, especially like when you involve like alcohol and drugs and things when people are like, oh, I made a mistake. Like I did ecstasy and I cheated on you. Like I heard that one before too. Like, oh, I was feeling so emotionally overwhelmed. And it's like, but you put yourself into that situation. Right. You went and did drugs with girls at a club and went home with a girl.
Yeah. Well,
that's on you, dude.
Let me ask you something. When you first met these dudes, forget the guy, when you were a teenager, the other guy, was it just like, what was the original impression that you had of them, and then what changed? Were these guys attractive because they met all of your standards, and then all of a sudden this came out of nowhere? Were there so here's the reason why I'm asking this.
Were there red flags?
Whenever I ask my friends before, were there because I look at my last relationship, were there red flags? Fuck yes. From the beginning, did not see them because I was being so validated. Did you ever feel like that?
Oh, absolutely. I was being validated. I felt like all the boxes were checked.
Mm-hmm.
There were red flags, but maybe I didn't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I chose not to see them. And I think a lot of people do that. You get
Yeah.
into a relationship with someone and little things happen and you just let it go because you're
Yeah.
like, oh, all these other things are so perfect. You're meeting my needs. Like I'm kind of blinded. I always like explain it like rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
You know, the beginning of a relationship, you kind of wear these glasses. You look at everything so beautiful. You know, everything's so perfect.
Yeah.
And then like at one point, the fucking glasses fall down and they break and you can see through all the shattered glass and you're like, oh, fuck, this is not actually beautiful.
Yeah.
And you start to see people's different colors, the different ugly parts of them. And then that's
Yeah.
definitely when I
that
realized.
makes it hard. I mean, listen, like I'm depressed thinking about the fact that somebody cheated on me. I'm like,
know.
it's not that. I mean, obviously for you, you're a cool person, but also like, what the fuck chance do we have? You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, how rich do you got to be for your girl to not cheat on you? I don't know. Jeff Bezos, his girl left him. Bill Gates, his woman left him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just
Didn't Bezos cheat on his wife with like a really young fucking woman?
He did. Yes, that is correct. Yes, that is correct. So maybe he's not the best example, but yeah, I mean, I personally think monogamy is not the natural state of humans. I'll just give you an anecdotal example. I know 12 girls who've moved to Vegas, got jobs as cocktail servers, and their husbands didn't move with them. And I know 12 girls who got divorces. Every single one of them. Because I also know the bravest generation of men we've had in this country, we consider to be the men who stormed Normandy back in the 40s during World War II. And every single one of them came home and their wives had babies by other men. Every single one of them, their wives cheated on them. So the situation is, I think that monogamy is one of these things where it's almost like, if you ever see a bodybuilder, how he looks super ripped, if he gets malaria or breaks his jaw, he's going to lose that ripped, he's going to lose a lot of that muscle mass. That's what monogamy is. You have to have two sides working at it every day. And when one of the two sides doesn't work at it, then it just falls apart. And then cheating is one of the ways it could end. There's a bunch of other ways that it could end. Do you understand? Like for me, if I felt like I wanted to cheat on a girl, I'd have a conversation where it'd be like, I do not lie, so I'm going to tell you I feel attraction to somebody else, which is why I told you before, I date women who date women, so I never have to have this discussion ever. I never have to lie about it. I never have to say anything like that. So it makes it a little easier, but that's an unusual situation. Let me see what else. There was a couple other things. Man, there's so many things I want to talk to you guys about. Let me see here. We talked about evolutionary psychology. So do you guys think that it is strange that many men are not having any sex at all? Do you guys find that strange at all?
I mean, yes and no.
Because I want to transition from that. We talk about creepy dudes. Okay, you guys are talking about photo shoots. The dudes were like super creepy. I think the creepiness is a manifestation of I can't naturally get sex. I do. I find that guys who have an abundance of options with women just don't behave that way. So do you think that these things? Because again, the creepiness pervades, bro. It's there. I see it all the time. Sometimes I go to parties and I just don't act creepy, and girls come up and talk to me because I'm the least creepy guy in the room. What do you guys think about that?
Well, so I think that the whole statistic of how many men are not having sex and they're just on their phones, I don't know. I think it's like we're saying, it's a little harder to meet people, or people feel
These
more
dudes want
intimidated.
sex. Let's just be clear. Dudes want sex. 26% of dudes are having no sex. Like that is kind of something's broken.
It's kind of crazy.
It is kind of broken.
And I don't know if it's just like an intimidation thing in person.
Well, I mean,
Are they creepy?
Well, I mean, we're going to guess that a lot of them are, but let's look at something else, right? 53% of marriages end in divorce, and 78% of those marriages are initiated by the women. So that's another thing where it's like, it feels like the whole system, if you believe monogamy is the natural state, is breaking. It feels like the system is breaking, because you had a point where everybody wanted to date Brad and Angelina. Everybody thought they could get their own Brad and Angelina. So the guy that they were married to, or the girl they were married to, wasn't good enough. And so we started having these problems. In 1975, I couldn't even see a Brad and Angelina. I might see a couple people on the movie screen or whatever, but I didn't know enough about their life. And now I can see these people every day. And I start having these unrealistic views of what I remember telling you guys about when I was in church. And the pastor was like, don't look at porn because this is an unrealistic view of what women look like. And then I moved to Las Vegas and I was like, it's not unrealistic at all. It's what I see every day. It's so funny. It's like, no, sorry, pastor. That didn't turn out to be correct. But I just thought it was really interesting because whenever I say this to women, they're always confused because they're like, no, I have no problem whatever having sex. I can't believe that there's as many guys that don't. And then you guys, your experience with creepy dudes. you had a lot to say about this in the car. Is there?
Yeah, I think that so creepy dudes like come in all forms. I think in our podcast we were mostly talking about creepy dudes in the workplace, photographers, videographers, men in professional settings who act unprofessionally, who treat women like objects that they can use however they would like without repercussions. So in this, I think the conversation we were having in the car was more about just like men also seeing you as an object, but just in random settings. Like we were just in the hotel on the way over here, and a guy walked by and told me that I dropped something. He wanted me to bend over and pick it up, you know, clearly. And you just have men kind of making these comments at you as if you're just things. Right. You know, and it's just, I think that how you can not be like this, like your bigger point was be friends with women, hang around women. You're not going to disrespect women.
I'm just going to tell you, like, I'm not going to get, we have rules. Rule number 6, you don't tell anybody who you're sleeping with. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to tell you that if I wanted to date lots of women, it would not be difficult because I have so many female friends. Not because I'm good looking. It's not because I'm famous. It's because I have so many fucking female friends that they're constantly introducing me to other girls. And it's like, if I wanted to meet someone, then it would just be very easy for me to do that because of the help. By the way, greatest wing woman who ever lived is Kylie Myers. She's fucking incredible. Like, shout out to Kylie. She knows what I'm talking. I'm not even going to bring it up, but she knows what I'm talking about. CJ's incredible too. But like that's the whole thing. So like, there's a better way. When I see what Matt Lauer did, or when I see what Charlie Rose did, or Cass Anbar, who's one of my favorite actors, and this guy got hit up for like 30 counts of sexual misconduct. When I see this, and I'm like, bro, there's a better way where you actually would meet more girls, be less creepy, and be friends with them and have a more fulfilling life. Not only that, raise a couple $100,000 for fucking charity too, if you would not be such a creep. And it's just so hard, and I don't know where it comes from. And I wish there was a way to fix it. If I was going to say, like, what if I was going to teach a dating course for men, it would just straight up be, let's like step 1, let's like not be creepy in the beginning, and let's figure out what part of that is miscalibrated. And then the other part is, let's calibrate ourselves to as many female friends as we can. And that is a sign of weakness. Goes back to what we talk about masculinity. Having a bunch of female friends looks like I watch football, and I used to be in jiu-jitsu forever and play basketball all the time. I'm not an unmasculine man, but I have a lot of female friends because I enjoy the fact that you guys don't brag about bullshit. Like, dude, listening to dudes brag about shit just makes me not want to hang out with them. And like listening to you guys, it's just something that I appreciate and that I enjoy. Let me see. What was the other thing? So we talk about this. You talked about before overstimulation of images, like how so much pornography has caused people to want. You guys understand? Your look exists now. There are other women that are blonde that have boobs and tiny waists. Mm-hmm. When Pamela Anderson was out, there was one Pamela Anderson. There was not many Pamela Andersons. She hit the genetic lottery and the boob job lottery. She hit both lotteries at the same time, and she was just wow, correct? Yeah. And she had the charisma. If you look at Marilyn Monroe did not look as good in a bikini as Pamela Anderson. Like, it was just, there was one Pamela Anderson. Now there are quite a few Pamela Andersons. There's a lot of women who look like Pamela Anderson. So the overstimulation of that, what do you think that has changed things as far as being able to be in a relationship?
Well, in terms of being able to be in a relationship, you mean like how I'm looking at like the guy I'm in a relationship looking at other Pamela Andersons? Is that kind of what you're asking?
That issue, but also now you have access mentally to other men who look like Fabio. Which, by the way, shout out to Fabio. He comes to every one of my events. It's really the actual Fabio comes. It's really weird. It's an awesome dude. He helps me raise money for animals. So, but how crazy that is, like the overstimulation, because humans, we lived in societies of 150 people during hunter-gatherer stages, and now we have these huge groups of people. How different do you think that is?
I mean, it's really different. I mean, I think that mentally it can be overwhelming. Like, I mean, she's always like, oh, why do you feel that way? And it's like, sometimes I have to check out. Like, I can't stay on social media. I use it as a business tool. I don't have personal accounts. Yeah. That's another conversation. That's just like separation of my life, my personal life from my work life. And it's overwhelming. Like, there are a lot of beautiful people in the world.
Again, when we hear you say that you get overwhelmed by looking at perfect people,
it just, I know it's like a funny, it's a funny
what concept, in the blue
but I think that we're all a
Michael
little
Jordan's
bit.
like, man, I swear to God, these videos of LeBron, they really make me feel insecure.
You know what? I bet they do. I bet that deep down somewhere
Maybe he does, yeah.
inside, you know, I know that men are very masculine and they act like they're not intimidated by other men.
I
There
certainly am, yeah.
certainly are men that are intimidated by other men. We're talking about men, 26% of men that aren't having sex. And they're looking and they're seeing fucking Fabio. They're seeing fucking LeBron James. They're seeing these representations of men in these forms that they didn't get access to before in previous times. So it kind of plays into the same fucking wheelhouse.
Social media makes it, if you have an advantage, it becomes a huge advantage. And if you have a disadvantage, it becomes a huge disadvantage, right? And so now the 20% of guys with the huge advantage, with the Lambo and the six-pack abs and the spot in the Maldives, they get all the girls. And then the guys who like have pictures of them in a plaid shirt at a fucking college football game, fat and drunk with their friends, have no fucking girls. That's what I've seen is the bifurcation between the two. And it's called fractals, where you have 20% of something that does 80% of something. So 20% of men having sex with 80% of the girls, which means the other 80% of men are fighting for those bottom 20%. And then you end up with 26% of men with no sexual partners in the last year. It's just
it's
simple
mind-boggling.
It really is.
All right. Well, we could talk
fucking
a lot more about that, but we have a schedule to keep. So I want to ask, is there anything that you guys want to plug specifically?
Coffee and Cleavage,
Coffee and
OnlyFans.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe.
Okay, so this is you're the first podcast I've ever seen on OnlyFans. You guys have
We
on
were the
OnlyFans.
first.
We were the very first.
Yes.
We're the fucking OGs.
So it's video form podcast, 16:9 HD on OnlyFans.
OF.TV
Okay.
is the actual website.
I've
It's
seen
not
that.
actually on OnlyFans.com. So
Okay.
it's not like a page. I mean, we do have a page that you can subscribe to on
Yeah.
OnlyFans.com.
Yeah.
That's OnlyFans/Coffee and Cleavage. But OF.TV is a video format platform.
Okay.
So it's kind of like your YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, we were the first podcast
That's
on
amazing.
there, which
Yeah.
was really exciting. We've amassed 600,000 followers on our
almost
Coffee and Cleavage.
700,000 now. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's been really nice. We're thankful for OnlyFans
We
giving
are.
us the
Shout out to
giving that space.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, it has like changed our lives.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I was, again, I'm looking for guests. You guys already had a podcast. And I was like, this is great. This is awesome. You know, they're going to understand what's going on. And it is, the thing is, I feel like it people will take you more seriously. One of the best things I found about this whole platform is you get to control the narrative.
Yes.
They can't
Yes.
keep, again, if you guys are considering starting a podcast, they can't keep talking shit about you if you sit there and have 3 hours to go over, you know, exactly what your narrative or explain it to the people your way. Does that make sense? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Anything else? No? Dude, this
Nope.
has been awesome.
It's been great.
Legitimately, I had like another 10 things that I wanted to ask you. We're kind of running out of time. Again, guys, please like, share, subscribe. We loved having these two incredibly accomplished ladies on here on my podcast. We have several more guests coming. I really appreciate the feedback that I'm getting from you guys. I lost my Instagram and the views went up on my YouTube. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I do appreciate that, guys. That's really awesome. A lot of you guys really love that last podcast that we did with Jamie Lynn. We're going to have her on several more times because sociopaths is something you guys really tend to want to talk about, and narcissists and stuff like that. We didn't even get into that, and I want to talk to that about you guys. So hopefully we'll talk about that some other time. But stay tuned. We got many more coming your way. Sorry, it's not COVID. I have allergies. We have many more interviews coming your way, and we're really excited to push this forward. And hopefully, like I said before, I want to provide some level of education, some intellectual curiosity for you guys. I want to fulfill what you want. And if you have questions for me or guests that you want me to have on, please let me know. And like I said before, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get 7 flat earthers on the show versus me at one time. Stay tuned for that. You're going to love it.